Have you ever found yourself completely lost in a story, like a movie or a book, maybe even just a chat, and you felt it connect to something really old inside you? Something, bigger than just entertainment.
Yeah, that feeling of resonance.
Exactly. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that kind of ancient narrative.
Right.
We're looking at the very beginning of Iranian mythology.
That's right. Specifically, the stories about the Pishtadian dynasty from the epic Shahnameh.
Mm-hmm.
And our mission really is to get under the skin of these myths. They aren't just old folk tales, not at all.
Right.
They're actually this incredibly sophisticated, well, pre-scientific way of understanding the universe and human society, too.
A framework.
Precisely. We'll unpack core ideas like cyclical time and something really fascinating, this concept of divinely approved vengeance.
Vengeance, okay.
Yeah, and how it basically acts as a blueprint for this ongoing fight against chaos.
So get ready for maybe an aha moment or two, because these aren't just dusty stories collecting dust somewhere.
No, far from it.
They're packed with profound insights that, honestly, still feel incredibly relevant to how we experience the world today. This dive into these old sources, I think it's going to reveal some surprising things about how societies, maybe even civilizations, get built.
I think so, too.
Yeah, let's unpack this. First things first. When we use the word myth here, what exactly are we talking about? It's definitely not just a legend or some kind of tall tale, is it?
No, exactly. And that distinction is really crucial. Scholars draw a clear line here.
Okay.
In Iranian mythology, myth, the word is ostur, refers to a symbolic story. It's usually about gods or other supernatural beings.
Right, the big players.
Yeah. And it happens in this sort of undefined, primordial time and place, far back. It represents a pre-scientific, almost sacred way of looking at things.
Yeah, creative.
And these myths, they're seen as the actual foundation of human thoughts and behaviors because they explain where things came from, give meaning to why things are the way they are.
So it's really digging into the meaning, the why, much more than just the historical what happened.
Precisely. And that's where it differs quite sharply from legend or a sena.
Okay, legend.
Legends tend to focus on human heroes, kings, warriors. Their actions might be extraordinary, sure, but they're usually set in a time and place that feels a bit more historical, more traceable.
Like King Arthur or something.
Sort of, yes. Legends are often entertaining, but they don't usually carry that same weight of sacred origin, that foundational purpose that myth does.
Got it.
Myths are deeply rooted in religious belief, in magic, the sacred. They're often seen as a source of faith, explaining the ultimate origins, providing that fundamental worldview.
That's a really powerful difference. But, okay, our sources mention myth serving a cognitive function similar to modern science. How does that work?
Yeah.
How can belief-based stories offer explanations like science does?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. It really gets to the heart of why myth is so powerful and persistent. Think of it like this. You take an ancient Chinese creation myth, right? It might describe the universe emerging from chaos, maybe through the actions of gods.
Okay.
Functionally, in terms of providing an explanation for why we are here, that's doing a similar job to the scientific Big Bang theory.
Huh. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Both give a coherent story about existence. The crucial difference, though, is that myth provides a meaningful explanation. It connects human life to the cosmos, gives purpose.
Purpose, right. Science explains the how, myth explains the why it matters.
You could put it that way, yes. For societies without our modern scientific tools, these myths were absolutely vital. They weren't just explaining, how the sun moved. They explained why it mattered, linking human actions, rituals, social structures to that cosmic order. It provided a framework for living, for community survival.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about finding your place in the grand scheme of things.
Indeed. And interestingly, you can even see an evolution within the Shahnameh itself. Scholars sometimes call it demythologizing.
Demythology.
Yeah, making it less purely symbolic, maybe a bit more relatable. For instance, some older Pahlavi texts describe the very first humans, Masha and Mashiana, as emerging like twins from a plant.
From a plant. Wow.
Very symbolic, right? Almost abstract. But then you get to Ferdowsi's Shahnameh, and he portrays Siamak as the direct son of the first king, Kiamars.
Ah, so like a father and son. More genealogical.
Exactly. It creates a clear line of succession. It shifts from that purely cosmic, symbolic origin story towards something that feels a bit more human, a bit more like history or epic.
Interesting. It's like bridging the gap.
It is. It helps transition from those grand universal creation myths to the epics about kings, heroes, dynasties. It makes the move from the divine realm to the human one feel more natural.
Okay, so myth isn't just a story. It gives this deep framework. How does it view time itself then? We're so conditioned to think linearly, past, present, future in a straight line.
Right.
But Iranian mythology, it takes a totally different approach, doesn't it?
It really does. And connecting back to that bigger picture, this unique idea of time is absolutely central. It's not linear, not chronological in our usual sense.
So what is it?
It's often described as cyclical, unending, non-exhaustible, incorruptible, like an eternal now.
An eternal now.
Yeah, a now that contains all the past and is pregnant with all the future. Think of the image of the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail.
Ah, right. The endless loop.
Exactly. Events aren't just happening once, they're constantly being recreated, renewed. It implies this continuous potential for restoration, for starting again.
That's actually pretty mind-bending when you stop to think about it.
Yeah.
So, okay, if time is cyclical, does that change how we read specific mentions of time? Like the Shahnameh says the world mourns Siamak's death for a year. Is that just a year? Or does that year mean something more in this cyclical context? That's symbolic?
Oh, absolutely. It's deeply symbolic. In many ancient traditions, including the Iranian one, a period of a year often connects to natural cycles, like astronomical observations or specific rituals of purification or transition.
Okay.
So that one-year mourning period isn't just marking time passing, it represents a full cycle, a necessary period of chaos, of things being out of joint after the cosmic order got disrupted by Siamak's death.
A timeout, almost.
Kind of, yeah. It's a pause before balance can be restored, before a new restorative action can happen and set things right again. It's a profound statement about the rhythm of existence itself.
Disruption, grief, pause, and then renewal.
Precisely. That cyclical pattern.
Wow. Okay, let's zoom in then on our main focus.
Yeah.
The Pashtadian dynasty. The sources tell us they're the very first ruling family in Iran's mythical history.
That's right.
And their name, Pishdad, apparently means the first to bring law. That sounds incredibly important, foundational.
It is hugely significant. They basically symbolize the massive shift from a really primitive, maybe chaotic way of life.
Like pre-society.
Kind of, yeah. To a society defined by law, by culture, by progress. What they contribute, it's not just one thing, it's cumulative. Each king builds on the last, providing this blueprint for how humans should advance.
They're not just rulers then, they're like cultural architects.
That's a great way to put it, yes.
So what did these foundational kings actually do? How did they pull society out of chaos? What were these monumental first steps?
Well, it starts right at the beginning with Kiomars. He's the very first king, portrayed as a kind of proto-human figure.
Proto-human.
Yeah, living in the mountains, wearing animal skins, leopard skins specifically. Very basic existence. But even then, he lays the groundwork. He's associated with the founding of early settlements, places like Estakhr, Damavand, Balkh.
So even the first guy is building things.
Right. He embodies these really deep archetypes. The first man, the primordial couple with his consort, the first cultural hero. He marks that initial step away from pure wilderness.
The spark of civilization, literally setting the stage.
Exactly. Then after Chiomars comes Husheng. Now he is often seen as the first proper lawgiver.
Ah, the Pishdad connection.
Precisely. And his contributions are massive. He's credited with discovering fire.
Wow. Game changer.
Huge leap, yes. And inventing iron tools, weapons. He establishes agriculture, teaches people how to farm, how to domesticate animals. He's fundamentally engineering early human society.
So farming, tools, weapons, fire. That's enormous.
Enormous. And he founds major cities, too. Susa and Babylon are attributed to him.
It's amazing how quickly things seem to advance mythologically, from mountain man to city builder in one generation.
Well, remember, the cyclical time, maybe generation, isn't quite the right linear term. But yes, the progress is depicted as monumental.
Good point. Okay, so after Husheng.
After Husheng comes Tamirers. His nickname is fascinating.
Divban.
Divban, what's that mean?
Binder of demons.
Whoa! Binder of demons.
Listen, seriously.
Yeah.
The stories say he literally fought and subdued demons, the forces of chaos, divs.
Okay, that's pretty epic. But here's the interesting part. He doesn't just destroy them. He makes a deal. In exchange for sparing their lives, the demons teach him the art of reading and writing.
No way. He gets literacy from demons.
That's the story. So he brings these fundamental skills of communication, record-keeping to humanity. He also teaches people practical crafts, like spinning thread and weaving cloth.
So even defeating evil yields civilizational progress. Wisdom from chaos.
That's a very astute observation. That dynamic seems to be very much at play, yes. Extracting order and knowledge from the forces of disorder.
Okay, who's next? This is like a hall of fame of founding fathers.
And finally, we get to Jamshid. And his reign is often depicted as a real golden age.
Jamshid. Heard that name.
Very famous. He's credited with founding the Nowruz festival, the Persian New Year celebration that's still huge today.
Wow, that far back.
Mythologically, yes. He also revolutionized architecture, introducing bricks and mortar, building with stone, allowing for much grander structures, and crucially, he established social structure.
Social structure, like classes.
Exactly. He divided society into 4 classes: the clergy, priests, the soldiers, the farmers, and the artisans or craftsmen. He really solidified societal organization, arts, crafts, even celebration.
Man, these guys weren't just kings. They were inventors, lawgivers, city planners, theologians, cultural heroes shaping the entire world.
That's precisely the role they play in the mythology. Each one adds a crucial layer to the foundation of civilization.
Okay, even with all this incredible progress, this building of order, the sources mention a really early, deep disruption. Kiyomar's peaceful foundational reign gets tragically broken, doesn't it?
It does. And what's absolutely fascinating here and central to our deep dive is how this disruption leads to the very first act of vengeance in the mythology.
Ah, here comes the vengeance theme.
Yes. And it establishes a pattern, a blueprint that echoes throughout the entire Shahnameh.
Okay, so what happens?
Kiyomar's has this pure-hearted son, Siamak. He represents the hope of this new order, but he becomes the target of envy from Ahriman.
Ahriman, the main source of evil.
The ultimate source of evil and chaos in Zoroastrian cosmology, yes. Ahriman is jealous of the order Kiyomar's is creating, so he sends his own son, who's described as wolf-like, often called the Black Demon.
Oh, man.
And this Black Demon attacks and brutally kills Siamak.
That's just awful. A direct assault on that new, fragile order.
Exactly. It's a devastating blow.
Yeah.
And as we discussed, the world then mourns for that symbolic year.
Right, the year of chaos and disarray.
So the question is, what happens next? How does the world recover from such a profound act of evil? How is order put back together?
Yeah, what's the response?
Well, divine intervention happens. A messenger from the heavens, the angel Sorush, appears to the grieving Kiyomar's.
An angel.
Yes. And Sorush doesn't just offer comfort. He commands Kiyomar's to seek vengeance. It's presented as a divine instruction.
A divine command for revenge.
Yes. But Kiyomar's is old. The responsibility, the duty, falls to the next generation. Hushang.
Hushang, the one who discovered fire, Siamak's son.
Siamak's son, Kiyomar's grandson. Exactly. And Hushang steps up. He gathers an army, and interestingly, it's not just humans. It includes lions, tigers, leopards, all the wild and domesticated animals, too.
The whole of creation fighting back.
It seems like it, yes. A united front against the demonic force. And Hushang leads this diverse army, finds the Black Demon, and defeats him, kills him, cleanses the world of that specific evil.
Okay, so justice is served, the demon is defeated. But you said this was more than just a battle.
Right. Here's where it gets really interesting, connecting back to the foundation of civilization.
Yeah.
This act of vengeance isn't just retribution. Our sources strongly suggest it's the direct cause or prerequisite for Hushang's own greatness and the subsequent flourishing of civilization under him.
Oh, so.
By carrying out this divinely ordered act of vengeance, Hushang earns his Farah Izadi.
His what now?
His Farah Izadi. It's a concept signifying divine glory, legitimacy, the right to rule, a kind of supernatural charisma and fortune granted by God, or Ahura Mazda.
So, the vengeance earns him the right to be the great king he becomes.
Precisely. The myth presents it that way. It implies this fundamental belief. Civilization, with its laws, its tools, its order, isn't just a gentle natural progression.
It has to be fought for.
It has to be established, often through confronting and overcoming chaos. And this specific form of righteous vengeance, kinkahi.
Kinkahi, that's the term.
Yes, kinkahi, seeking justice or vengeance for kin. It's portrayed not just as destructive, but as a restorative violence.
Restorative violence, that sounds like a contradiction.
It does to our modern ears, perhaps.
Yep.
But in this mythological framework, it's the necessary act that reestablishes divine order after it's been violated. It's the catalyst. It's what clears the ground, you could say, for the monumental deeds that follow, like Hushang discovering fire, creating tools, establishing laws.
Wow. So the act of vengeance itself, enable civilization's progress.
That's the profound implication here. It's presented as the moral imperative that kicks off the next stage of development. It reasserts order, and from that restored order, innovation and structure can emerge.
Okay, so this idea, kinkahi, vengeance as a necessary, restorative, even civilizing force. This isn't just about Siamak and Husheng. You said it's a blueprint.
Absolutely. If you step back and look at the whole Shahnameh, this theme of vengeance isn't just a one-off plot point. It's a core structural element, an archetype.
It repeats.
It repeats again and again. It functions as his divinely sanctioned duty. When injustice occurs, when the cosmic and social balance is thrown off, someone has to step up, guided by divine will, to restore that balance through retribution.
Okay.
And the pattern is remarkably consistent each time.
What's the pattern look like?
You typically have, 1, a pure-hearted, often noble victim, someone representing order or goodness.
Like Siamak?
Like Siamak.
Yeah.
2, an unjust killing, usually carried out by an agent of evil or chaos, often driven by an ahrimanic force like greed, envy, or just malice.
That's the black demon.
Exactly. 3, a period of grief, mourning, and disorder follows the killing, that symbolic pause, like the year of mourning. And then 4, a new hero emerges. Often a relative of the victim, like a son or grandson. This hero is guided, sometimes explicitly by divine messages, sometimes implicitly by destiny, to seek retribution.
Like Husheng.
Like Husheng, and their act of vengeance successfully reestablishes order and justice.
That's a very clear pattern. Can you give us maybe 1 or 2 other big examples from the Shahnameh where this exact cycle plays out, just to see how embedded it is?
Certainly. The Siamak-Husheng story is the first, setting the stage. But then, a bit later, you get the story of Iraj and Manushar.
Okay.
King Feridun divides his kingdom among his 3 sons. Iraj, the youngest and most virtuous, gets the best part, Iran. His 2 older half-brothers, Salm and Tur, become consumed by jealousy. The text literally calls it the demon of greed.
Another ahrimanic force.
Exactly. They conspire and brutally murder the noble Iraj.
Pure-hearted victim, unjust killing by agents of evil. Check.
Check. The land falls into sorrow. Then, Iraj's grandson, Manushar, is born and raised with one purpose: righteous retribution.
The new hero arises.
Guided by Ferdowsi and divine destiny, he eventually confronts his treacherous great-uncles, Salm and Tur, defeats them in battle, and beheads them. Justice is restored. The lineage continues through Manushar. The pattern holds.
Wow. It really is the same structure. Any others? Maybe a really famous one?
Oh, the most famous example is probably Siavash and K. Khosrow.
Yes, those are big names.
Huge. Siavash is another incredibly pure-hearted prince, renowned for his virtue and innocence. He flees Iran due to court intrigue and seeks refuge in the rival kingdom of Turan.
Okay.
But even there, despite his goodness, he falls victim to the plots of malicious advisors surrounding the Turanian king Afrasiab. He's unjustly accused and brutally executed.
Another innocent victim killed by malice.
Precisely. His death causes immense grief and is seen as a major cosmic disruption leading to long wars. His son, K. Khosrow, is born in exile.
Hero in waiting.
Exactly. He grows up, undertakes this long, arduous, heroic quest, specifically for vengeance against Afrasiab for his father's murder. It's his defining mission, divinely sanctioned.
And does he succeed?
He does. After many epic struggles, K. Khosrow finally confronts and kills Afrasiab, avenging Siavash and restoring the Iranian throne to its rightful glory. It's perhaps the quintessential example of kinkahi in the Shahnameh.
It's undeniable. That pattern: victim, injustice, grief, avenging hero, restoration. It's clearly fundamental.
It absolutely is. Seeing it repeat across different dynasties, different generations, really solidifies its role. It's not just a story device. It's demonstrating a core belief about the moral structure of the universe.
A universe defined by this constant, necessary struggle against chaos and injustice, where vengeance is the tool for putting things right.
That's a very good summary of the worldview presented.
So let's try and wrap this up. What's the big takeaway here?
Well, I think what our deep dive really shows is that Iranian mythology, particularly these foundational Pishtadian myths, is far more than just simple stories. It's a complex, sophisticated system of thought.
Right, that pre-scientific framework.
Exactly. It operates with its own logic, where concepts like cyclical time and this archetype of righteous vengeance, kinkahi, aren't just detailed, they're central pillars. And that very first story, Kiyomar's, Siamak, the Black Demon, Husheng, it really does provide the essential blueprint. It lays out this worldview where injustice isn't just tolerated, it demands a response.
A divinely sanctioned response.
Yes. an act of retribution that's necessary to fix the broken cosmic and social order. And remarkably, that act of fixing things is presented as the very thing that enables civilization to move forward. It's the catalyst.
It's fascinating. And maybe it's that constant creation, as you put it, of these ancient events, its unending cycle of facing down chaos, striving for justice, achieving renewal. Maybe that's what gives these narratives such lasting power, why they still resonate today.
I think that's very likely. They tap into fundamental human experiences of struggle, loss, the desire for order, the need for justice. They remind us of, perhaps, shared values and histories that connect us across time.
It definitely leaves you thinking. Which brings me to a final thought for you, our listener. Thinking about this cycle, chaos, injustice, a response, restoration, what story, maybe an ancient one from your own culture, or even a modern one, a film, a book, a current event, do you see playing out a similar pattern?
That's a good question.
What cycle of disruption and restoration do you recognize in the narratives around you? And what might that tell you about what your own world or your own culture truly values when things fall apart?
Something to ponder.